Hello out there, Kevin Cosmore here, and this is a video on what I eat in a day. It's been requested by a lot of you for me to share what I eat in a day, how I manage to arrange my diet and plan my day for food. I prefer, as some of you might know, a raw vegan diet, a low-fat, fruit-based diet, high carbohydrate, water-rich, whole food-based, and though I also still provide examples on how to succeed on a cooked low-fat vegan diet, because I've had good success eating a starch-based diet as well. I just don't find it agrees with me as well. My digestive system, I notice it more, my digestive system, as opposed to just not noticing it at all and having the energy be there. My recovery time is just a little bit slower on the starches, so I tend to lean towards the fruits. I still have included some cooked starches, but when I've tried it and gone back to it it hasn't given me the same get up and go that raw fruits and vegetables has. So experiment yourself. I find both still leave you with fantastic levels of energy and health. If we're talking about diet and it's only one element of the other 33 elements necessary for health, and diet's only one of them, I would say if you're eating a low-fat, fruit-based, vegan diet, that you're already at like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. If you get it 100% raw, 100% fresh, grow it yourself, you can get it up to a 10, right? But either approach, you're still taking care of a large amount of the necessary components that make up a healthy diet. You're eating a lot of fresh foods, you're eating a lot of fruit, you're keeping it low fat, keeping it plant-based and vegan. So both approaches work really well. I just find that the fruit-based, raw vegan, 80-10-10 style seems to work the best. So this is just a typical day of how I would eat 80-10-10, raw vegan, high energy parenting diet. We have the sugar baby watermelon, maybe 350, 375 calories in that one. And here we have Charente melons. These little babies usually hold about 150 calories a piece. I start my day with something juicy and sweet, usually melons or some kind of juice or smoothie. Then we have about 10 or 11, we have 11 bananas here with some dates that we'll have, and they'll blend that up for a midday smoothie. Trying to make a little, hey Tootsie! And oftentimes I'll toss in celery if I have it extra, or eat some cucumber with it, or toss some greens in to make the smoothie just a little bit more. Not that I need to have it in there, it's just why not slip my salads in. I'm someone who slips my greens in whenever I can. I don't see the negative side of it or the downside. I only see a positive side, so I toss them in when I can. And it really, with bananas and dates, I hardly even taste it. Along with a couple pears that need to be eaten. A lot of times, a lot of the planning of this comes about just based on what needs to be eaten. In a household, as you know, with family and kids, some things get eaten a little bit more enthusiastically than others. The kids might go all for the Charente melons, which they certainly are, and leave all the other melons for me. Or go for all the apples and leave all the pears for me. Whatever they happen to do, I'm essentially the composter. I've got to eat all of it or take it out to the compost. So I try to eat it all. For dinner, we'll have some mangoes, some Atolfo mangoes, blended up with some Valencia oranges into a nice drink to start the meal. And then we'll spiralize some cucumbers and make a dressing of the celery, tomato, another Valencia orange, some Brazil nuts, and some sun-dried tomatoes from our dehydrator. So that basically sums up the day. At breakfast, you're looking at maybe 675 calories, 650 calories here, 700 calories maybe. Midday, we're looking at a good 1,200 calories, maybe 1,250, 1,300 calories maybe with the pears. And then at dinner, we're tossing in another, this is not all the oranges that'll be here, about 4 cups of oranges at least. And so dinner will total about another 1,300 calories. And that's going to be my day. It's going to be a fantastic day. It's about a little over 3,000 calories. The calorie counting, I forget over time. I've gotten very good at calorie counting or accustomed to it or practiced at it just because of logging my calories for so many years and logging calories for clients. So now I have a pretty good I can definitely tell you how many calories are in a banana or in a date or in a melon and give you a pretty good estimate. So that is how many calories, but that also isn't a huge deal once you've practiced and really once you're eating a healthy diet. If you're following a Raw 4, an 80-10-10, a low-fat, fruit-based, high-carbohydrate, whole food, fresh food approach, if you're eating mostly fruits and vegetables, you can start to forget about counting your calories. But it is very useful in the beginning, especially if you haven't counted your calories or are including a lot more fats. I'm only including a couple nuts here, so I don't even have to. I'm not even concerned that my fat intake is going to be too high for the day. But if you're eating a lot of avocados, a lot of coconut, a lot of nuts and seeds, if you're using oils still and eating a lot of processed vegan foods, then definitely start to count your calories, track your calories. It was very shocking for me when I first started tracking my calories and seeing just how high my fat levels were. It was not around under 10% of total calories, because that's the ideal, and that's what I'm going to recommend as the ideal, is whether you're doing cooked vegan, whether you're doing a raw vegan, just keep the fat percentage under 10%. Experiment there. Some people have told me that they've felt better or felt fine on 15% of total calories. When I first did my numbers, I wasn't anywhere close to 15%. So I personally feel best on 10% or under. Some people feel better on 15%. Start tracking your calories and see where you're at. You'll be surprised. I thought I was low fat, and I was coming in at 30% of my calories coming from fat. That means if I had 3,000 calories, 900 of the calories were coming from fat, and I was trying to aim for 300. So there's a big gap there, and over time you'll whittle that gap down and know how to keep it within range. But experiment with yourself first, track it, see if 10%, 15% works best for you. But first you gotta track your calories to know. Once you've tracked them, once you know, once you feel how it feels, living a low-fat, raw vegan diet or a cooked vegan diet, it's hard to go back to the high fat. Now, if I ever had a calorie day of 900 or 30% of my calories coming from fat, I wouldn't have to have tracked it in a calorie counter. I would know from my physical experience of life. I wouldn't be running as fast, I wouldn't be recovering as fast, I want to sleep a little bit more, I might have a little bit worse breath. Consuming any of my animal friends or subjecting them to any sort of harm for me to have my food is inconceivable and would hurt way too much, and would certainly at the very least be a huge digestive discomfort. I am more than happily satisfied and still every day amazed at the variety of fruits and vegetables available and amazing plant food combinations possible. There's no trading this wonderful experience of living for a horrible piece of bacon. You start to notice a difference in experience of life, so track your calories, experiment, eat this way if you want to have high levels of energy, health, and vibrancy. And until the next video, live joyously, parent passionately.